Hey my friend, it's Will here over at Pips and Gains, and welcome back to another weekly Forex performance review update. In today's video, we're going to be going over the results of my weekly swing positions, and I'm going to break each setup that triggered down. I'm going to give you the analysis and the reasons behind the setups, hopefully to help you become a better, more consistent, profitable trader. Okay, so before we actually get over to the charts and into the good stuff, if you are new to the channel or you haven't yet subscribed yet, please show your support for the channel. Hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and yeah, so I can keep on sharing content like this. So let's head over to the charts. First off, trading view, which is the screen you can see in front of me there. Starting to get a big following there. It's growing pretty fast, which is great. People are liking my simple but effective trading analyst. Okay, so what I want to first off is just remove that, and this is the setups that were traded this week. So for anyone that is new to my videos, this is what I send out each week. It's how I trade the markets. These videos that I actually create are kind of my journal where I go over my performance for the week. This is my journal. It's an Excel sheet where I document every single trade that is placed. The way I do my weekly swing trades is a systematic approach. I do my analysis on on the weekend when the markets are closed. So I have no emotions attached to positions. The markets are closed, so I'm able to think a lot clearer and come up with better trading ideas over the weekends when the markets are closed. I then come up with a list of sometimes 15 to 20 trading ideas. I then enter all those ideas into the markets as buy and pending order, buy and sell limit orders. Again, I trade it in a basket. I spread the risk across all the pairs because all the trading assets here. I never know which trade will trigger. I just know that some trades out of the 20 will trigger, and it's usually the highest probability setups will trigger. Not all will trigger, and these are the ones that triggered this week. Usually between 5 and 10 setups out of the 20 will trigger, and we spread our risk across all the setups. So these are the trades that triggered. Euro USD still open. Great trade on the Euro Aussie. It hit the break-even price, 100 pips. And a fantastic trade on the British Pound Japanese Yen again this week. Trade of the week goes to British Pound Kiwi. Up over, well up over 200 pips now, 220 pips. USD JPY, again we were selling at 147, a resistance again this week. It's went up, it did go down this morning, and but still minus 40 pips in it. Again, USD CAD, it is losing, so I don't know why, it should be minus. It's down 15 pips at the minute, still open. Aussie Swiss franc still open, and Kiwi Swiss franc, again took that this week. Swiss franc Japanese yen, another fantastic trade in this. So just up over 600 pips this week across our positions. And let's head over to trading view, and we're going to go over the setups, the reasons behind it. Like I said, we'll go back to the Euro USD is the trade that is currently open. Just hide this. Boom. All right, this is a trading idea I had posted on my Trading View channel here. Get my weekly swing positions. We are opening, close everything on a Friday, and start again fresh each week. So head out to the monthly charts. I did do a video on this. This is looking very bearish, the euro. What I wanted to see was a bounce at this here support this week on the monthly. If we zoom into the weekly, and broke down through this was the trend line. Now, we had this buy demand area here. And basically because this is the leg start that caused this huge pop up here in the weekly charts. What I wanted to see this week was a move down to 107. That monthly support, it's kind of just beyond the trend line, the weekly trend line. Down into this, if you read this post here in TradingView, we want to see exactly where I've put that in there. So I want to see a bounce here. If we look at the daily charts, this week, we did get last week, we got the bounce at the trend line, rallied up. This week we came straight down and the second attempts broke through. So it's kind of showing you that the sellers are in control and they are likely targeting this area here. So what I want to see is a bounce here. This is what I wanted to see this week. We haven't got it. It only hit 107 yesterday, triggered. It's still open. If we look at the 4-hour charts, I want to see, this is kind of area where I want to see buy signals on the TRFX indicator. This will likely be a trade we'll take this week. 4-hour chart, not maybe I probably would like to see, because it's a weekly zone, maybe an 8-hour or 12-hour signal in this area, the TRFX indicator, and would be a good manual entry in that area. So that's the Euro USD. It's come down to the area that I wanted to get in at. Basically, because it's the end of the week, we haven't had enough time for the market to work out. So the trade will close automatically today, probably a break even, and then I'll reanalyze the markets tomorrow and maybe target a little bit lower down next week, because we're not getting any signals on a higher time frame. That was it. Well, there's a 12-hour buy signal that I've just noticed. So this could be, we'll see, maybe pop up in the US session today. We shall see. Next trade that triggered was Euro Australian dollar. Euro Kiwi. I'll just remove all these things. 168.500 was the sell on it. It's been moving down nicely this week. Let's hide the indicator. So we start off in the monthly. Kind of got this monthly support, these highs here, sorry, resistance, these highs here, we're kind of looking at here. Basically what I'm looking for is areas in the higher time frame charts that there's been buying and selling up before, and there's been big moves from that have that have produced significant moves up or down. Basically this one caused this move, sorry, this high here caused kind of high that caused this move all the way down here. So there's a lot of, from this area, there's a lot of selling all the way down here. So you can see this is kind of why the market is selling there again. This week, we're at this resistance. What I wanted to see, because we got the breakdown last week, was a move back up. If we look at the daily charts, sold off pretty heavily last week. I just wanted to see, kind of change the structure, change the trend. These are new lower lows being created. So I wanted to get in around this area here. If we look at see this trend a little bit better on the 6-hour chart. So we've had this leg up here, and this leg down breaks the trend line. It breaks this trend line. I'm just doing this rough, but it breaks that trend line. Comes down, creates a new low. And you see it's kind of moved sideways for a bit. Then we had this swing high here. Pops down and creates another new low. So what I wanted to see this week was a move back up inside this area. We could call this a reaccumulation after a drop in price. If we had the trend line break, the market, it starts to move sideways. Sorry, redistribution. and then we get the breakdown again to the new low, comes back up to test this area, and we can clearly see resistance has been formed here twice. So I wanted to see a move back up. This is why I was targeting 168,500 just before that level, and we have sold off more or less from that area. So that's the reason behind that trade. Basically just trading that resistance. Delete all those drawings. Next setup is British pound, Japanese yen. Another great trade this week. So, I said in a few videos, if we look at the higher time frame, starting the monthly, we are at a key area in the chart on the monthly. So I suspect we could be getting a move down very soon. It's acting as a bit of resistance. We could get this 3-stepping and a move up. We will see. I suspect it will drop down before going higher. We will see. But looking in here, this is the reason why I'm looking to sell. We're at this higher time frame area on the monthly chart where there's been huge selling before. Look at this drop. This is exactly from, I think it's 2015 when the kind of Brexit vote was announced. It happened the following year. And this was the actual Brexit vote. And we've retraced all the way back up to this area here. On the monthly charts, if we look at the weekly, clearly see this area in here where the huge sell-off happened. We are at this area again. The weekly charts are momentum is starting to slow down in this trend. We can tell this quite easily by reading what price action is doing. You can see this huge leg up here. We get the pause down to this low, and then we get the new high here. What we can see here, this last push up, especially these sell-off candles here, and then this last push up, there's no real strength behind it. The markets have started to kind of slow down. Momentum is slowing down. We're getting sellers coming in. These red candles tried to push up higher here several times. Again, it tried to push up again this week. It failed. We could get one final push up just to a new high here. Maybe pop up above here maybe, and then sell off. But there's a lot of indecision in this pair now. So I suspect if we do start to see a move down here, expect the market to come down here, take out this low here, create at the end of July, and move down towards maybe 170. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens at this kind of area here. But again, back to this week, the reason behind this week's trade. We need to go into the daily chart to have a look. Looking to trade this at 185,300. At the top of the move here, we have this resistance, or sorry, support here. We had moved down to their last Friday. What I wanted to see early next week was a move back up to this trend line area here. We can see the market is moving down in a trend. Comes back up. We wanted to see the market hit the trend line. So I wanted to just have my entry just before the trend line, 185,500. Then we got the sell off. It's actually created a new low this week, testing this previous close here on the daily charts, probably a weekly close also. It's going to be interesting to see if we can get a breakdown here. This support keeps holding. The market could be looking to compress up and break through. It's going to be very interesting. I do suspect we maybe could get a drop down here. We will see. That's the reason behind this week's trade. I'll have to do my analysis tomorrow for next week. So that's the British pound, Japanese yen. We got 190 pips on it, which is excellent. Next trade is British pound Kiwi. Really, really nice setup on this week. So monthly chart, what kind of area I'm looking at was this area here. It's resistance and kind of these highs here. So we are very strong in it. We do have this newly created monthly buying area. Set at 110. Resistance, the reason that support, previous resistance support. Sorry, I've been getting things mixed up, trying to do these videos as quickly as possible. We had this rally up, the breakout of those resistance areas comes back down to test it. We had the small pause, then the new high in this leg up to these highs here, up to these resistance areas, which we've had a reaction last month. What I wanted to see early this week was another reaction at that level. So we had previous 2 weeks, we've had nice sell trades on it. What I wanted to see this week was a move back up. If we look at the daily charts, we can actually see what I was looking for this week. So, see the move up here in the daily charts. The market moves down, kind of breaks the trend line, comes back up, moves down, creates a new low. So what I wanted to see this week was a move back up to this area here, which was 213,400. Moved up a little bit higher, up to that other resistance. But I just wanted to get in early at these closes. These daily closes and open, daily close and daily open from last week and last month. So I just wanted to see a move back up and then sell off, and sold off pretty heavily from it. Did pop up a little bit further up into 214 and then sold off the rest of the week and turned out to be an excellent position. And looking at this does look like it will likely come down towards this next week, because we've created the new low. Market is pushing up. We'll either get another daily candle up, a move back up here, and then a sell off. We will see what happens. I'll have to analyze the markets tomorrow when everything is closed. Next trade is USD JPY. One of the losing positions this week. We're still in it. Maybe pop down today, get out of break even. USD JPY. Remove all these drawings. We had a bit of verbal intervention this week, but it has popped up to a new high. We're looking to get in at 147. We are moving up towards last year's highs. We have this monthly open and monthly close and monthly open here at 148,600, and then we have last year's high. This will be likely an area where price is looking to target, possibly get a sell off. This is the reason, this monthly high here, which is the area price is kind of break out from now. This from 1999. We can see we had the huge sell off here before, and as we can see, price comes up to this area. It twice already. It's starting to find a bit of resistance, and this is the reason why looking to sell this again this week. 147. We had the huge sell off last week. And then the huge, after the NFP, the markets just pop up, kind of this spinning top. If you want to call that kind of candle there, I don't really study candlestick patterns. Something to look at, kind of look at what price is doing, momentum, etc. And this is a key area for me here that we're into now. So we've had this weekly high, comes down, market kind of sideways for a bit. We'll see this clearer on the daily charts. Then breaks down. So we had the huge breakdown from this 147 area last year at this long time resistance from the high in 1998. Did get a reaction there last week. I wanted to see a reaction again this week. It's popped up a new high. It's slowly popping up the new highs here. We are in intervention territory. Probably why you see the market being very, very cautious. I want to see at this 147, just last week's high. I wanted to get in a little bit early. And again, it's popped up a new high. We'll see how it closes this week. It is looking like we're going to get one final push higher. I want to see how this week closes. We could get one final push higher. Maybe up towards 149, 150. And I do suspect we may get intervention, more intervention, verbal or actual intervention as we get higher up in this leg. So we will see. And then we'll get the next breakdown down. So basically this week was playing that resistance, hoping for another bounce. It kind of stayed static at that area. Did pop a new high, but we're just 40 pips off. Like I said, we can't win them all. Not all trades will go our way. It is part of trading. Next trade is USD CAD. And this idea is down 10 pips. Boom, boom, boom. USD CAD, reason behind this week's trade. Move that. Monthly charts. We have these highs here. Many times this area has acted as some sort of resistance. We see it a lot clearly on the weekly charts. Again here. And I wanted to see a push up above last week's highs. If we look at the daily charts. If we look at actual weekly charts here, we are moving sideways. So to me, this is this classic distribution pattern after a rally in price. For the push up, market's moving sideways. Distribution period moving sideways, comes back down. We've breaks out of that distribution period, comes down to test these previous highs, and then is pushed back up into the distribution period. So, and we're at these weekly highs. This is a good sell for me. Start building into a sell position. Want to see a sell at that resistance this week. 136,500. We're there now. It's 10 pips. We will see what happens the rest of the week. I will likely take this again next week. It is a good setup, and I'll probably do a full analyst video on that because that's a setup I really, really like at the minute on the USD CAD to sell. So I think the last trade, sorry, not the last trade, but three more: AUD, Swiss franc, Kiwi Swiss franc, and Swiss franc Japanese yen. So AUD, Swiss franc. Another good trade for this week. 40 pips. Like, these pairs don't really move that much. We're taking this trade last week. We've had this huge sell rally down. We were found support at this low. We do have this low down here. But we found support at this low. The market has rallied 2 weeks in a row. If we look at the daily charts, what I wanted to see this week was we had this trend line. So we've had this trend coming down. We broke the trend. We've come back down. The area that actually in the daily charts that broke the trend was here. So this week what I wanted to see was a move back down and a test. A move back down for the market to come down in here, 56,600. And I just wanted the market to pop down into this level this week and then get a reaction. So that was it. We got the reaction. This is likely to move up to a new high. It's one of the trades I'm holding quarter of the position still in. We're likely to create a new high here. Move up towards 58. We will see. So that was the AUD Swiss franc. Very simple trade. Kiwi Swiss franc, again, similar story. These pairs kind of moving together. Swiss franc is very strong. I do suspect across all these Swiss franc pairs, we are starting to get a bit of a retracement, a bit of a pullback. And that's why we're starting to get results with these setups. So, last month's low. Looking at the weekly charts. Again, what I wanted to see after last week's reaction is just a move back down to get back in. I did mention in last week's video. But that's what I wanted to do. We had the daily trend lines. Exact same setup as the probably saying, oh, why am I drawing three candles? Again, don't have to be precise. It's just down to these highs. This is the kind of trend we're looking at. The market's broke that trend. It started to move sideways. This, I wanted to see the market pull back up. I wanted to see a market pull back down to the area that caused this high. So we had the trend line. Trend line break, comes back down to test the area that broke the trend line. This pop up to a new swing high. I want to see a back down to that area that caused a new swing high, get the reaction, and then buy again, which we've done up to likely a new high. So pretty good concept. What happened? 52,300. We got the pullback and we got the trigger, which is good. Last but not least, Swiss franc, Japanese yen. It's moving up again today. Again, we don't really have any reference points to areas. We just have this resistance. We have this kind of support here. And these areas here. Market's starting to move sideways. We can see several times here. And it does look again, we're going to have another wiki candle here. So okay, what I was looking to do this week, if we look at the daily charts, was just wait for a pop-up. I did do a full video on this last week. We have kind of this, could call it distribution pattern at the top of a trend. We will see it is moving sideways. And what I noticed this week, we've got what I wanted to see was a move back up to 166. Kind of just triggered us and then it sold off. Did sell off down to mid 164,500 this morning. And it's rallied up again inside this area. So it is getting very choppy with some key decisions this month with the interest rates in Switzerland and in Japan at the end of the month. I do suspect we maybe get sideways movement till then. What I'm noting here is, and the price action, is we've had a rally up, sideways movement. Popped a new high, and in this last rally up here, where we are now, happened this week, it didn't manage to make its way up to the top of this. It sold off. And again, this area here has not managed to take out last week's low, which was moved close back up inside the range. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Next week, we'll likely sell this again, up higher. If you want to be a bit more risk averse and don't like trading inside these ranges, basically you could wait for the break off this and then the market to come back up inside and test. So a close under the area, and the market can back up and test, and we could see them then move down towards the 160 area. To the upside, again, I do think the better trades for this are to the downside. I do suspect, looking at these higher time frames, we are very overextended. Yes, certainly it might, because it's higher time frames, it might rally up maybe a couple more 100 pips, 100, 200 pips. And the risk reward for me is to the downside. We may likely get the retracement on the retracement. It's just something sometimes I like when I see these huge trends that are very, very overextended. Sometimes the highest probability trade setups are going against the trend. This is very overextended all this year, and I do suspect we will get some sort of pullback. And if it does break higher, I do get stopped out, fair enough. I will enter again because the risk reward is very, very good on it. So we'll see. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens if we do get a breakout to the upside from this range or the downside. It is looking like we're going to get a retracement to the downside, especially each time it's hitting this 166 area, we're getting a sell-off. So we will see. It's been a fantastic trading week for my weekly setups. This is every trade that triggered. If you want to get a free 7-day trial to the service, there will be a link in the description area of the video, and you'll get free access to the Trade Manager EA for life. So if you want to get a free trial, click the link and find out more information on it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comment sections, and have a fantastic weekend well over at Pips and Gains.